Hmm.
Hey, welcome back to the Football First podcast. We got our co-host here back from Italy. Thank God. Get a little extra spicy takes from him hopefully today. And then we got our special guest yet again, Big Sig McBreen. Happy to have you on. Thanks for coming. Let's get right down to it. Bengals look like dog crap yet again in a 37 to 24 loss to the Detroit Lions at home. Um, Tough L. Offense looked really, really bad, especially the quarterback play. Offensive line looked really bad. Jamar Chase was really the one shining guy on that side of the ball. Defense kind of played okay. Offense put him in some really bad spots, especially to start the game. Uh, Not much positive to say on my end. I can dig a little deeper into my takes later. Cuzzo, I want to hear from you first, man. What are you thinking about this Bengals team, this offense, specifically? What's your take, man?
Yeah, I think it's the same as your guys's, but I don't think Jake Browning is the guy. Um, but it's been a number of things that have sucked for him. The offensive line, like you said, I was gone obviously and didn't see the two games, but this past game, I made a note here. I'm sure you guys saw it, but that Fairchild at the guard position just gets blown up terrible. Another false start on Ted Karras this week. Orlando Brown Jr. doesn't even look like he wants to play football anymore. We seem to just have bad, shitty luck with offensive line play.
Yeah.
And then we're not doing any favors to Jake Browning we can't establish the run at all. And even my poor mom who doesn't watch football at all, she knows what play's coming. So I mean, it's like something's got to change, boys. Something's got to change big time.
Yeah, I think something's definitely got to change. Like you said, up front, that's probably our biggest issue. Granted, the quarterback play, giving the ball away three times, that's not good. That's terrible, actually, and it puts you behind the eight ball. But, the offensive line, that's where it starts. You got to
Yeah.
have good protection. You got to move the ball on the ground in order to win in the NFL. Kev, what's your take on the quarterback situation and the offensive line, man? Like, do you have any other insight other than kind of just crapping on the team or
Well, the defense, I mean, going into halftime 14-3, I mean, you really couldn't ask for anything more than that out of the defense when your offense is doing absolutely nothing. 4 for 11 on third down. We can't sustain drives. And Jake Browning is a backup for a reason.
Yeah.
And I was blown away that there was no change at quarterback after his second pick. Um,
Yeah, it says a lot about the team and it says a lot about the head coach.
yeah, Zac Taylor just looks lost.
Yeah. Let's get into that, guys. I kind of want to go around the room again and get our takes on head coach Zac Taylor. Kev, we touched on this last week, or at least 2 weeks ago, last time we had this podcast together. I was on the fence. I said that I could see a world in which it is okay to fire head coach Zac Taylor and feel okay about it. And then I also stood on the fence and thought on the other side, how can he do any better with what he has, what the front office gives him, what this organization gives the team in general as far as facilities and scouting and everything that goes into building a football team and maintaining a championship level football team. Um, I think I turned the corner on Zac Taylor, unfortunately, in the wrong direction this past week, where I believe that he should no longer be the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. And at the very least, let him finish out the season, see if he can move some pieces around and get something going, maybe get a different quarterback in there. But that's not going to happen. They're going to continue to look like the same exact football team. And that's the reason why I think the head coach needs to go. Candy, what do you think, buddy?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, man. Unfortunately, he is limited at obviously at the quarterback position with the Burrow injury, but one guy doesn't make the whole team. And it's like, there's how many times do we have to call a timeout because we don't have the damn play in? and it just kills us later in the game. You don't have all of a sudden you're looking for a timeout, you don't have it, and unfortunately we're playing from behind a lot, so it's like you need those timeouts. But
Fantastic point.
another thing I noticed is and I'm not sure what the conversation was about, but when you got players arguing with the coach on the
Yeah,
sideline
that's a
and
bad
things,
sign.
that's just not a good look, man. And I'm afraid I'm really afraid I gave him the benefit of the doubt for a long time, man. But I've turned the corner myself, Chewy, because I think they need a shakeup. They need to change it up because they don't. He never. I watched the Rams play the other night, and they had a fourth and short, and the Niners were going for it. Okay, Rams get a big stop, get the ball back for their offense, and McVay's going fucking crazy on the
Yeah.
sideline, and it's like we don't have one damn coach that gets fired up. I mean, look at me, I'm about ready to. My blood pressure's getting high just talking about it. But I'd
Um,
like to see what Sig says, but
yeah, well, let me say this real quick, Kev. In regards to what you said with the penalties and all that, and kind of getting themselves behind the eight ball, like on offense, and it kind of seems like it's the head coach's fault. All those delay of games. We have a delay of game, what seems like at least once, maybe twice a game, and it's always looks like miscommunication because Burrow or the quarterback's always looking at the sideline like, what the hell, and then
yeah, they don't
Zach
know what the
Taylor
hell's
has his
going
deer
on.
in the headlights look. That's every time the head coach's fault. Every time. He's the one calling the plays, dude. You got to get the play in and let the offense go. That's his
Let me,
fault. That's a huge, huge tick against him, man. That's really
I
bad
got
on his part.
I got to ask you boys a question. I mean, do you think that, obviously you see other teams, the coach is giving up play calling. Do you think it's an arrogance thing with Taylor that he just can't seem to give it up or what? I mean, because obviously his play calling is not working.
Kev,
What do
I'll
you
let you go.
guys think?
Well, it'd be one thing if the play calling was good. Yeah, this is just bland, runs up the
So bad.
gut. And then so Monday night we were dealing with, I guess the game plan was just go routes to Chase and Higgins the whole game, and Jake Browning couldn't keep the ball on the field. Um, it would be again, it would be one thing if he was this great mastermind of calling plays, but he's not. I mean,
No.
so I did a little research here, but I said it last time we were on the podcast, but any other organization, this coach would be gone now. The Bengals have been
Oh,
outscored 113 to 37 the last three games, 69 to 9 in the
wow.
first half of the last three games, and 97 to 9 the first three quarters of those games. And they've been outscored by 71 points, which is an NFL worst in point differential. So
Jesus.
That's
it's
abysmal.
it's not good. And last year
It's a bit.
the scapegoat was Lou Anarumo. He was the scapegoat. The defense has got to change. The offense was firing all cylinders. Well, Lou goes to the Colts, and they're third. They're giving up 17.8 points a game, third in the NFL. 14 sacks, which is tied fifth. Six picks, which is tied for fourth, and eight takeaways, which is tied for fifth. So uh,
Pretty damn
maybe.
good stats. Pretty good defense sounding like.
Yeah, I don't think it was Lou. Lou's just glad to get out of there.
Oh my God. That's a godsend. If you are able to get out of that organization and still land on your feet at the same level job if or higher, I mean, you've got it made.
Yeah,
Because you're hopefully almost every other organization cares about winning and they care about putting together a championship football team.
yeah.
The ownership in the front office in Cincinnati doesn't seem to care to do that.
And
And it's
what?
super unfortunate because everyone's behind this team and all the players yearn for it. You
Yeah.
can tell.
Yeah,
And it's very sad that they piss away all their key players that are in their complete primes.
and
And
you know that I root for the Bengals. I do. But Zach Zach Taylor at his press conference today said that he really thought they were going to win that game if they got that onside kick. And those those garbage time touchdowns are just enough to give Zach Taylor this false hope that they're turning the corner. Mike Brown to stick with them. I mean, someone said it.
Well,
Mike
Fucking Dan Campbell was already halfway out of the city drinking coffee by that time. Anybody could have scored on him.
any
You know what I mean?
everyone in that game knew that the Bengals were not winning. They were never even in the game.
No.
So,
No,
but Mike Brown's not going to pay a coach to stay home.
no,
So nothing.
no. And the Bengals have a history of holding on to coaches far too long.
Yeah.
Well, how
And
long was Marvin Lewis there?
right, exactly. And, he was a damn good football coach. I'll say that. And I think he was a leader of men. But I also think that at a point, you have to start looking elsewhere when, yeah, he made it to the playoffs a lot and whatever, like all his little accolades that you could bring up. But how many did he win?
Right.
How many runs do you go on? It's like it's not just about making it, it's about winning it, man. Like college
Yeah.
coaches get fired because they don't win national championships. Look at James
Yeah.
Franklin, how much he
I
wins. He's
was going to
about to
say
get
that.
fired,
Right.
maybe.
So so
Yeah, because
so
you can't win the big game, and that's
Right.
what you get. Unfortunately, you get judged on that, and especially when it's the National Football League because it's such a huge product. And it's like, man, yeah, I know you went to the Super Bowl, you lost, you went to two AFC Championship games, won one, lost one, and that was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But it's what have you done for me now? I mean, and it's just not working. Something's got to change.
Go ahead,
well,
Kev. Sound like you had something.
Sorry.
no, we were watching the Niners and the Rams on Thursday, and the Niners are down significant players. Brock Purdy's not playing, and look at that team. They find a way to win, and they keep winning. And I'm not saying that Brock Purdy's on the same level as Joe Burrow, but one player goes down, and we completely fall apart.
Yeah, and I think that people realize now, Kev, that it's not just like Joe Burrow is not the answer. And he really never was the answer, but he's definitely not the answer right now. Meaning, if we had him, this team would still be dog shit. They'd probably be in the games a little more. They might have a decent little record, but this team is not going to win a Super Bowl or even come close to it. There's too many holes, especially in the offensive line. If you can't protect Burrow, you can't give him time. It doesn't matter. And I think that's where you got to start pointing fingers at the head coach, how you guys are alluding to all the sloppiness of the team on both sides of the ball, especially on offensive line, especially in on with the linebackers and some of the pass rush and all that. It's just in the tackling. It's just it's pretty sad to see, and it comes from the head coach when you don't make your players focus on the small details. That's
Well,
fundamental football. I've been preaching it. And if you don't hold your coordinators accountable that are going to hold your players accountable, that's on you.
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that's on you.
McVay's going for it on fourth down with the game on the line. Zac Taylor Monday night punted the ball when we were down, 20 points,
Yeah.
or 20 or more in the fourth quarter. He punts the ball,
Yeah.
and it's just how do players respect the coach with no backbone? And he's
Right.
always
Yeah, I
got
mean,
that
how
look. He's got that Zac Taylor look on the sideline, just all the time.
same thing, whether they're winning or losing, it don't
Yeah.
matter. He's got the same look. Yeah, and I
So,
mean, what does that say to your players when you don't? Yeah, it's like you're down 20 points. It's like it would make me personally feel like, oh, you don't trust us to get the first down. You're just going to punt the ball away. It's like, man, you make us feel like dog shit. And dude, we were going into the season. We were supposed to have one of the top offenses in the NFL, and now
yeah.
look, you know,
Yeah.
So who's on your short list or your wish list for head coaches? I have
Prime.
one. I have one.
I
Prime.
got one myself. Chucky, baby, John Gruden,
Yes, of
got to
course.
come to town.
I I I
He'd
was
love to coach Green.
I'm kind of liking Joe Brady.
He's got the
Is that
history
is that
with
Tom's uncle?
Jamar, and
That's Tom's uncle. Yeah.
he's got the connection with Burrow and Chase. I
Yeah.
mean, their offense was with him at LSU. It was, I mean, one of the best offenses, of college football history. So I
I would
mean,
love Gruden. Would love it.
Oh yeah. I want to
they're not.
see I
If you want a John Gruden to come to town, which I might be stealing words from you, Chewy, I'm sorry, but
no.
the organization, our organization, Mike Brown, nobody's going to come coach like that.
No,
Nobody of that stature.
no. Why
But
would
could
you?
you imagine
It's a
what he
shitty
would do?
organization. Um, but I heard on the radio just some guys. Now they were kind of BSing, but they were saying now supposedly people. Granted, it might be a small amount, but people are calling for John Harbaugh's head, believe it or not. Or yeah,
Yeah,
John
I know.
Harbaugh over in Baltimore. They were booing him and saying how they don't like him anymore. Dude,
Did
come
you
on to
watch that?
Cincinnati, baby.
Did you
I
watch
love
that
that guy.
game? I mean, yeah, that team. I don't know what's going on
He
with
said people were
coach.
saying he lost the locker room there too. I don't know if that's true, but
You know,
I I don't know.
Well, one thing is they're decimated with injuries.
Yeah.
So I mean, but Kev made a good point. I mean, San Francisco, they
Yeah.
seem to still be doing well, and,
Well,
and they've been hurt all over. But
I think that it comes down to doing what you can with what you got. And I've said that before on here. You got to be able to do what you can with what you got and maximize the players that you have because every single league, whether it's little kids, high school, college, up to the NFL, it's a next man up mentality no matter what. Injuries happen all over the field
yeah,
every
yeah,
game.
that's part of the game.
Yeah, whether it's you're banged up or you're injured, next man up. And it's
And
nothing against the player that's injured whatsoever. It's just we've got a job to do, and there's 11 players on the field at any given time, and you have to get up there and do your job to your fullest extent. And the head coach and the coaching staff is not getting everything out of their players, or they're at least not putting them in the right positions in order to get that done. And I think that's just kind of how it goes.
Speaking of 11 guys, there was a penalty that we had that was only 10 guys. They only had 10 guys, believe it or not, out there on defense. Like,
Yeah.
is nobody watching that
That's
shit?
another thing.
I
That's
mean,
another. I mean, that's on the coordinator. There's some coach that's supposed to be counting those guys. But
wow.
let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk about the future a little bit. Let's talk about the near future where we have to go to Green Bay. What are your guys' initial thoughts on that? I can tell you that the Bengals are 14.5 point dogs, and the over-under is 44.5. Like I said, it's at Green Bay. I think it's at 4:15 on Sunday. Um, Kev, what's your initial gut thoughts and reaction to what you
30,
think is going to happen in Green Bay?
31-10. It's probably easy money to take the Packers
Yeah.
covering. You know, it was what was it 10 and a half kick this past Sunday for the Detroit game. That
I don't know what, yeah, it might have came down to 9 or 9.5, but
yeah,
yeah, it was right there.
I don't see the Packers not covering this game. I hope that we have some improvement. But again, I think that was those garbage time TDs. They were playing prevent defense. Not Detroit
Yeah.
wasn't really pressuring.
Yep. You're
So
playing to win, not to cover. You don't give a shit. You just want the win.
yeah, so those
So
garbage time. Hopefully, it gives Browning some confidence and built a
I
little
think it might.
confidence. But I don't see the Bengals. I don't see the Bengals coming close.
Yeah. Candy, any thoughts?
Owner,
Yeah.
Owner.
Um, you know, one thing I did, I researched a little bit. Green Bay is 53% at converting third downs, and that's one of our Achilles heels is we can't get off the field on third down. They're first in the league. That number's first in the league, so they'll struggle with that. Also, it's going to be sack city for old Micah Parsons, and we have problems, with defensive ends, and they'll put him all over the field and rush him. So, yeah, I don't have a positive outlook really on this game. I think Green Bay definitely wins it.
well,
But also, maybe the second half of that game against the Lions did give Browning a little bit of, because they're not going to make a change at quarterback. It's going to be Browning until Burrow gets back, if he gets back this season. But maybe that gave him some confidence that they can, try to move the ball. One of the things I did feel like I wanted to say was, the plays that I saw work for the Bengals on Sunday were the boom boom. He drops back and throws a slant route to Chase. He makes makes people miss. He's great with at his yards after carry. So I don't know if you need to switch the offense as far as, but the ball's got to come out quick when you got a bad offensive line, especially against a player of Micah Parsons' caliber. I know his back's a little bit tweaked or whatever, but
Yeah.
it'll be a field day.
Well, and the Packers are coming off of a bye, and Matt LaFleur's record's 33-14 coming off of a bye. So I
Owner.
All signs are pointing to a Packers win and a blowout of the Bengals. I'm right with you guys. I think it could be anything from 17 or more point deficit. Um, it's going to get ugly. Like you said, Candy, I think the defensive line is going to really show out for the Packers. I think they can really have a chance to have a field day against this really unathletic, sloppy offensive line in Cincinnati. I think that they're going to tee off on them. I think they're going to blitz them. They're going to put pressure on him. Why wouldn't you? Go get some stats and force some turnovers with having him kind of panic and throw the ball just wherever the hell he wants. And when he just throws it up in the air, you saw it. It's easy pickings. It's easy pickings. It was easy pickings three
Yeah.
times on Sunday, and at least two of the times I saw it was 5 yards away from the receiver. It wasn't even close to the guy.
do,
So
do
if you put a
you
little
think
pressure in there, it's going to get ugly.
he's trying to force the ball in, or
Yes. Yes, bro. Yeah, he's trying to get it to Jamar T because he knows that's all they got. And he knows he doesn't have time, so he's scared. I guarantee it. And he also
Yeah.
just, I don't know, he's kind of a deer in the headlights looking ass dude in the pocket. Yeah, he's got that like 1,000 yard stare, even on the sideline, like everything. He looks like he's scared. Just go out there and play the damn game, bro. You literally have nothing to lose. The team has nothing to lose. Jamar and T, they're playing like they got nothing to lose. Jordan Battle, TJ Slayton, um, who's that? Who's the new guy that is the guy from South Carolina? Darius Knight. They're playing like they got nothing to lose. Logan Wilson
Demetrius, yeah.
finally played pretty well this past game. Like Logan Wilson, take another step forward. Like let's get this defense humming. Let's get some
Yeah.
stops. Let's gain some momentum on that side of the ball, and then offense patch something together. You've got
Yeah.
two of
Please,
the best
Jesus.
receivers in the league. You at least got one of the top two
Yeah.
number one receivers, and then you've got top three number two guys. Like, come on. Let's put something together offensively. Keep it simple, like Candy was saying, keep it simple. Let's do quick passes. Don't make them need a bunch of time back there. We got to establish the run as much as possible. I know they try, but let's really try. And like you said, Candy, work a little screen action. Like keep this defense from dialing in on Browning. So, because
Yeah.
once they sell out for either the pass or the run, like then you can start taking advantage of shit.
Yeah, I thought, one positive I did pick out for this past game was, the defense did seemingly take a step forward, but the problem is they turned the ball over twice in
Yeah.
positive territory for Detroit, and that
Right.
spotted them 14 points. So you're already down. Then you got to you get so far down, you got to basically abandon the run, and then
Yeah.
it's just like there's just no mixing it up. There's just no, and every time they try to do something like the flea flicker that they tried to do, it takes so long to develop. It gets blown up, and then
Yeah.
Browning, no wonder he's got a deer in the headlights look. He's just waiting to get pounced by somebody. He was blasted once by Hutchinson.
Dude,
I
it
didn't know
was,
if he was going to get back
yeah.
up.
Let's talk about the two safeties that they got that somehow got called back. Did they even get a third? Am I crazy? I know they at
No,
least
there
got
was
two.
two.
They got two safeties. Did one of them count? I don't remember, honestly. I was so
One of them
disgusted.
counted.
one
The one of
Okay.
counted,
them
and
counted in the
The
other one
other
was a
one was
flag.
totally a safety, but then they said that they like held somebody. But
Yeah.
that
anyway,
was a bailout call.
I mean, dude, you give up two safeties as an offensive line. That is freaking embarrassing. Embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I feel like I just keep going around and around saying the same shit in a different way. because it really is. All we're doing is just crapping all over the offensive line, the quarterback play, and the head coach. We're lucky we're not really shitting on the defense. And that's just because it's hard to play defense when you're turning the ball over like crazy, as Candy said.
Yeah, yeah. When you're on the field for, I don't know what the time of possession was, but when you're on the field that long, shit. I mean, the '85 Bears couldn't cover for that long. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
If we do want to say, I'm going to say one positive before we get into keys of the Packers game, as if we're even going to give them a chance. But shit, I don't even know what it completely slipped my brain there. I have no idea what. Oh yeah, Jordan Battle. That dude was playing hard as hell. He's been playing so
Oh yeah,
hard this whole entire season. Granted, I think the
he
first couple
has.
games he was a little sloppy with his tackling and whatnot, but I think he's taken a step forward every single game lately. At least the past two games, and this past game, he really turned it on, in my opinion, and was flying around the field. Made a couple of really nice plays out there. So I mean, and I just saw I was reading some of the stats, and TJ Slayton had a really good game. Logan
Yeah,
Wilson kind of played well, as I mentioned a little earlier. I mean, I'm liking a couple of these defensive players and how they're starting to play. Otherwise, it's doom and gloom. But I do kind of want to at least shine a little light on that because there are some positives some in some spots on the team, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys have any
um,
positivity before we kind of close it out here.
well, I mean, this is going to sound corny as hell, but one of the positives is Evan McPherson is kicking much better
Yes.
this year
Yeah.
than he did last year.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we're having to go for settle for field goals when you need to be getting touchdowns. But yeah, I mean that's one positive, and the only other thing I will say is I am impressed with that Demetrius Knight kid from South Carolina. He plays his balls off.
Yep.
Granted he'll make mistakes, but hell, he's a rookie. I mean, every rookie makes mistakes. So while it does seem like we're doom and gloom on everything, there are positives. I mean, I'd like to hear one of Kev's positives, see what he has to say.
Well, we were I'd back up just a second. We were talking about the offensive line, and we've touched on it a couple other times of the development of players. We went to the free agency. Whitworth was on Pat McAfee today, and it was actually a phenomenal stat, which is kind of embarrassing. It's been 14 years since the Bengals drafted an offensive lineman and signed them to a second contract. And that
Dear God.
and if you can name that player that they signed to a second contract, I'll give you $100 if you can name it.
It's not Andre Smith.
No. It was in 2015. Clint
Oh, is it
Bowling.
he
Clint,
played where
Clint
now?
Bowling. I was gonna say
Oh
that.
you're gonna
my.
say
Totally.
that. So
Shoot, you owe me at least 50.
so
Yeah.
at 14, I mean, just think about that. That just goes back to our ability to scout and draft, and our talent evaluation
So bad.
is horrible. Um, so I just wanted to touch on that, but a positive from the game was Jamar Chase is pretty good at tackling.
Yeah.
Almost led the
Yeah.
team. Three
And he had
tackles.
a pass breakup too. I don't know
Yeah.
if you saw that on the sideline, that nice pass
Maybe he
So
could be
breakup.
a two-way player like Hunter.
yeah,
Yep.
no, I do think that the defense is at the level that we would need. We went into the season saying they need to be just average or, just not terrible like they were last year. I
Yeah.
think that if Burrow was in there and our offense was at the level they were last year, we would be having a different story right now.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
I'm
I
I'm with
agree.
you, man. And yeah,
Especially with
it
the
is what it
AFC,
is.
the North wide open. I
Yeah.
mean, I know the Steelers are 3-1, but it feels wide open, and
It
that's a
is.
good thing right now. That the Bengals are still, I mean, right in the thick of things. Even though these last three games, you would
They
think
were
that
ugly.
we are dead last.
Yeah. Well, let's keep our positivity rolling into the Packers game. Let's just say the keys. What are the keys for Bengals victory, Candy? For the Bengals side,
Well,
how do they win?
and I touched on it just a few minutes ago, but I think a way they can win in Green Bay offensively is definitely speed things up. No plays that take forever to develop. Get the ball out quick and get it to your playmakers. Get the ball in their hands and let them make a play. Um, I think if they can establish the run, which I know it seems like a titanic struggle right now, but if they can somehow get that going, it'll open up that offense and take some pressure off of Jake. I think he's like, I'm not sure if it was Kev or you that said it, but he's forcing the ball because he's trying to make things happen. And while I appreciate that, it's like, dude, just throw. You can also throw the ball away. Um, and I mean that's kind of my offensively. That's what I think. Are some keys to it. I think defensively is just get off the field, like I've been saying, get off the
Yeah.
field on third down, and in the turnover they created, they got the ball, gave their offense another chance, but then it's like they shit down their leg. So one key: don't shit down your leg.
Yep. Kev,
What do you guys
what are
think?
your keys, buddy, for Bengals victory?
I I honestly, from a psychological standpoint, I think getting some stops on defense early in the game, so we're not playing from behind,
Yep.
where we go in with this game plan, but then we're down 10-0, or 14-3, and we have to change the game plan to where we need to get some
Yeah,
points quick. So I think that would really lift the defense up. I think the last three games, I believe that the opposing team's first drive they scored a touchdown. At least the last two, I believe that. So again, we're playing from behind. But that goes back to the offense having to put some drives together. So they need just a mental lift. So I really do think the defense getting some stops would go a long way to kind of help this team.
I'm right with you, Kev. I'm right in the same vein. I think you got to keep moving forward on defense as far as improving each week. And I think that this last week, even though they scored 37 points, I still think that the defense didn't play too bad. And, you hate to have moral victories, but as you said, get a couple stops and you're right in games a lot of the times when you have this offense, or at least the offensive weapons that we have. Not at the way that we're playing currently, but if you get that offense humming a little bit and you just score a couple more touchdowns, I mean, you're right there with every team, to be honest, if you're getting just a couple stops. Um, but also you got to have the quarterback play right there. But like I said, step forward on defense, penalties. Let's clean up the penalties, less sloppiness. And that kind of starts with Zac Taylor, and as you said, Candy, some of the offensive linemen, like Ted Karras, another false start, clean up those mental errors, and then the line of
yeah,
scrimmage. That's going to always be a factor and the determining factor in every single football game. Control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and you're most likely going to win the game. So,
mhm,
boys, it sounds like we just got to get a couple stops on defense, get our offense
yeah,
humming, keep it simple with Jake Browning, get the ball to the playmakers and offensive line, man. Let's act like we got a pulse and that we care about this team and let's have some pride and go out there and compete, man. Compete on Sunday. There's a reason why you line it up. Go try and win a football game, man. The season's not over. You still got a lot to play for.
yeah,
And I mean, let's just show some pride nonetheless, man. Just play foot. You get to play football for a living. Let's act like it. You're a professional. All these guys that are half-assing it out there, they need to step it up. And this is a perfect week to do it, man. It's a good team. It's probably the best place to go and play a football game in the world, man.
yeah,
Lambeau Field. Go enjoy it. Go have a good Sunday. And yeah, I don't know else to say it besides just go play hard, man, and play like you know how to. But yeah,
yeah.
boys.
I mean, yeah, it's thankfully it's still early. I mean, if you could just somehow string together some wins, somehow you're not out of this thing by any means.
Right.
But there
It's true.
definitely needs to be some pulse checked.
Yeah, it's as positive as all that sounded. It is doom and gloom in my brain, and I think you guys can
Yeah,
agree, especially after the conversation we just had. 90% of it was terrible thoughts and predictions, and I think that that's actually going to be our reality. But hopefully they can do something to flip the script, man.
Yeah,
We'll
man. pick off a game or two here this next
Yeah,
couple of weeks. I mean, anything
who
can
knows?
happen.
Teams can get hot, man, and guys can get some confidence that they didn't have or something.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we
So,
have 12 more games to go. So why not win a couple?
yeah, yeah. No matter
Yeah,
what, we got to play them.
Yeah.
you got Green Bay this week, and then you got Pittsburgh on Thursday night football. Um, if you can knock off Pittsburgh, you're still alive in
In the
our
North.
division, no
Yep.
problem,
2
because the
oh.
Browns and
Yeah.
the Browns and the Ravens suck. So I mean,
Yeah.
now granted we suck too, but maybe we could suck a little bit less than
Yeah, but if three
them.
of four suck, I mean, shit, you got a chance to if you knock, like you said,
Yeah,
knock off that top team, man, you might have a shot. A
you got a
crazy,
shot, man.
crazy shot. But
I don't think Joe Burrow's coming back this year, but you know, keep trending. You just stay in the thick of things, and maybe he does come back. I don't.
dude,
I don't think he does.
that'd be story of the year, man. Story of the year.
Oh,
Well, all we can do is pray on that, guys. So we'll leave it
yeah,
at that. Appreciate you guys hopping on as always, Kev. Thanks for being a guest, man. We'll definitely have you back on,
yep.
hopefully even next week. And yeah, we'll get back on, and hopefully we're all smiling and in great moods the next time you see us.
I
So,
don't know. I don't
uh,
know if Candy will be in a good mood if the Packers lose now. He
oh
might have
yeah,
to fire some people.
he
Oh no.
needs one of those split jerseys.
Yes.
This is a
Candy, if the Bengals win, you
this
gotta you gotta rock
this
the
is a
cheese head.
Bengals. This is a Bengals podcast.
Yeah.
If you want to talk pack, we'll talk after the fact.
All right,
Hey,
boys. Well,
boys, I got to say one more thing. If it
yeah.
gets any worse for the Bengals, maybe we start talking about the Buckeyes a little bit.
Well, I think we need to get into some college football anyway. So maybe we'll do that come next week. I'm I'm pretty booked up the rest of the week. So, but anyway,
Okay.
I'll end it here and we can powwow after. But yeah, thanks guys and thanks for watching. We'll see
Yeah,
you.
thanks, boys. Who dat?
Good.
Who
Who
dey?
dey?